committee. I just got the recording notification. We also have a leadership committee. And then the fourth one is, and the Indigenous Worldview Committee, which has to do a lot with just basically us as Native people and how we look at the world. And yeah, so that's a really great committee. And we use that to think about our elders and talk to elders. And so, yeah, we really have a great time in that group. And the youth that come back week after week just warm my heart because they're really so committed to these connections with each other. And it's just amazing to see. So speaking of that, we're gonna kind of reward them and they're gonna reward themselves by creating a virtual conference that's gonna be coming up on April 29th. In the last meeting we just had, we were just discussing topics of what they'd like to see. And it turned into the most beautiful conversation on how they want to talk about their identities. And they would like to just discuss who they are, their differences, their similarities. And they want to hear from their elders at this conference. They want to talk about injustices. They want to talk about their pride in each other. And it's just a really beautiful, wonderful group of youth. And the entire RISE group is driven and led by them. Every single decision is made by them. And I mean, me and Donnie just sit back and let them run because they have all the good ideas and they know all the good stuff. So yeah, thank you for letting me be here. And I guess we'll send it over to the youth now. Hear from them.
And for those that ever seen that kind of joke that was running around Indian country on CNN, that they labeled our tribes as something else. They had African Americans, Asian Americans, and something else. So the students grabbed that and turned it into the RISE group. So that's what RISE stands for. Okay, you can go to the next one, Sarah. So I'm not sure if Riley is on just yet. Her service was bad, but I will speak about Riley. She is a junior at Hayes Lodgepole, and she's a phenomenal leader and student, and she just received an award, I think at MCAN, and she's just doing some amazing things, is helping as a leader in this group. And I will go on ahead and just let them go from there. I know Seth Watson and Sue Lex are here, so take it over, gentlemen.
Would you like me to go first or Bell?
Yes, yes. Just introduce yourself and kind of talk about your fire and energy.
All right. Hi, my name is Seth Brady Jr. My native name is Walking Buffalo. It's Hitawat Mitts. I mean, I claimed it. But yeah, I've just been working hard these past few weeks, and I've been taking part in this Minecraft server that we've been making. That's one of the big ones that we've been working on these past couple of days. And yeah, and recently we've been dealing with some hard times, and yeah, we've just been working really hard on it, like really hard. Me and a couple of other friends, we've kind of come together, and we were just thinking of many ways of how we could communicate and really just connect to everybody that we can't connect to because of due to COVID and how everything is more restricted and is not more physical anymore. Well, what if we could have a way of enjoying ourselves with each other due to video games? And that's what the Minecraft server is for. Basically, what we're doing on that server is basically we're recreating the campus for many, many reasons. For those who don't know, Minecraft is basically a game where everything is just in cube shape, but we can create whatever we like on there. And I heard this idea, and it really, like, I truly believed in it because Donnie once brought up in one of the meetings, like how he compared it to how Travis Scott has canceled all of his things due to COVID. And well, either way, he did his concert on a video game, which is really worldwide known. And he got like literally millions and millions of views on it, more than in an actual concert, which I thought was amazing. And I took that idea and I was like, what if we could amplify that with what we're doing with video games, like with what we're doing? and maybe we could captivate people all over Montana, and really just like have this something that's big enough for everyone to connect and communicate, and really just use it and use everything to our advantage. Basically, everything is more virtual now, and it will make sense that video games will play a big part, because if you think about it, video games nowadays are literally on the rise. It's up there in the entertainment. It's up there with NBA, NFL. It's really well known throughout the worldwide. And I thought we will put this together, this whole project together, and we will basically connect to other Native Americans. And not only that, I created the server, and basically on the server I created the campus of University of Montana, and I created it for many reasons, not only for gathering and talking and communicating and really just connecting with everybody. I mainly made it for like, what if people are those that we could use this as the people to drive for going to university, give that same feeling, and basically using the pain center as like a big example, or just a way of introducing them of the university. Not only that, I've thought of really just bringing in people and really just communicating their parts, getting to know one another, and maybe plan or just do whatever on there. Honestly, like the sky's the limit. We can communicate, do anything. It's no different from Zoom, but more playing with each other, you know. But this could literally, I believe that this could blow up. Like if we can advertise and like many of those things. I truly believe in this, and honestly, this whole thing for me, it has been something that I've dreamed of since middle school. And I've been going to school, and as Don once brought up in many meetings before, like why aren't having our names out there like in NBA and stuff like that? Well, what if there's someone out there with gaming and things like that? And I thought, or well, I mean, I've already been taking classes now. I'm gonna go to colleges for like learning how to make video games and things like that. And with this project, this could be a start. Like this could introduce me of how to, you know, give all these ideas and how to place them when I do go into my future careers. And yeah, this is just the beginning. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And if anything, with Minecraft, for now, with Minecraft, we could like bring elders and things like that as a form of communication with one another, telling each other stories in a video game. Because if you think about it, teenagers these days, if not sports, they'll go to video games. And what better to do it than Minecraft, because everybody knows it. Like everybody knows Minecraft. And that's probably one of the best platforms. It's one of the most like family-friendly video games out there. And yeah, like the sky is the limit. And I truly believe in this. And I truly think that this could go somewhere. And this, if not, we could go bigger. Like we can start our thing on many more platforms, like everywhere. But of course, we would have to start small. And here in Montana, and I was what I would love to be a part of. And I love to, you know, just yeah, basically. Sorry, I'm throwing it on.
Seth is doing awesome. He's humble and he's always fired up, and it's really connected him and his fellow Native peers in the school. But they want to have a virtual conference and have a moment that they all connect on the server. And Seth, you know, Representative Windy Boy is always talking about coding and technology and how we can do these things and how we can have natives doing such things. So like you're right on track as a young leader. So he's phenomenal. Awesome.
Yeah, and I would also like to mention that, I mean, just so that's out there, so that you guys know that this has truly, like something like this I've already been passionate about, has definitely did things for me that I thought I would never be able to do. Like it's definitely taught me leadership qualities, and I really do appreciate this project. And I've definitely put my heart and soul into everything because I truly do believe in these kind of things. I would just like to put that out there. And thank you for these opportunities.
Yes. So Mr. Watson Whitford, if you'd like to share some of the leadership things you've been doing and just your awesomeness.
Nawa ko magantig, ntu temtig, wapanatag sigasun asni watitsikutinia nianansap nitatapunan egwa tabahan ishle chupakri bashishchin bitatni dashiche chupakri dashinele. Hello everybody, my name is Watson Whitford. I come from the Chippewa Cree tribe in Rocky Boy, Montana, and I also come from the Navajo Nation down south. And I'm a part of the Worldview, Indigenous Worldview and Leadership Groups committees in the RISE youth group. And I've had less time to spend with the group recently because I've recently started attending the Navajo Preparatory School down south in Farmington, New Mexico. I've been staying there online, but I still live here in Montana, which is kind of interesting. But you know, I'm always for the challenges, and so I just wanted to share some discussions that we've been having in the RISE committee and the RISE Indigenous Worldview Committee. We've been talking about how us as youth want to have our voices out there and being able to speak to the people that are able to do things. I know we are able to do things as the youth too, but to get it out there to, you know, like legislators and, you know, maybe senators, governors, you know, just even the president, which would be awesome. But, you know, I think these different things are getting us there, and being able to have our voices heard is a big thing for us. You know, not a lot of the time we have our voices heard. You know, we're on the reservations, and you know, it's kind of hard for us to be able to speak about these different things because these different topics are very, you know, sad. um and so, you know, it's hard for us to talk about these different things. And you know, I really think our knowledge and our language and our cultural teachings are very important to us as indigenous people. We've had this knowledge for thousands and thousands of years, and you know, I want to have this knowledge for thousands and thousands of more years, you know, to come, so that we can have our culture and our language and be able to conduct our ceremonies, sing our songs, and be able to have conversations in our languages. On the reservation I live on in Rocky Boy, we have about a population of 4,000 people, and we only have about 60 speakers, 60 Cree speakers, which is very alarming. You know, not having that much speakers, being able to teach people, you know, it's gonna go away if we're not gonna be able to learn it. And um, you know, being able to speak our language is such a big thing. To speak it at my age is, you know, such a accomplishment for many youth. And you know, I'm not able to speak my language fluently, but I hope to get there someday. And you know, even listening to other students my age and even younger speak languages, their own languages, is really inspirational to be able to speak my own. And so, you know, in the world we live in today, we live in a more modern world. And so with that, we have to live in a balance. There's a balance that us as Indigenous people live in. We live in our cultural teachings, cultural knowledge, cultural medicine, these different things. And then also the Western education, Western medicine. We have to follow both in the world we live in today, because without our Western education, we wouldn't be able to, you know, if this is my example I heard before, is that maybe the government tries to take away our land, you know, because it happened in the past. You know, they took away indigenous land, and you know, if they try to do it today, we'll know why they can't. You know, these treaties and these different agreements we have with the government, having that knowledge, well, they can't do that. And then also living with our cultural knowledge and our language, We have these medicines that we use. We have um, this culture. The culture is who we are as people, who what we are. And in culture there's so much things you could put into culture: language, um, ceremonies, just there's so much. And I think culture is a part of who I am. Having my culture as a Chippewa Cree and Navajo person, and being able to speak that, go to ceremonies and all that is such a big thing for me. And recently I've been working with a doctor from Johns Hopkins University, and we've been doing town hall meetings, and we've been informing teachers at our schools about COVID-19 protocol, and social distancing, mask wearing, good hygiene. And I think that's really helped our schools. And our schools are opened up. Both Box Elder School and Rocky Boy schools are opened up. And so um, I'm going to be doing another town hall meeting next week on the 14th. Somehow I would like to send you guys a poster. We have it out, and it'd be next week, Wednesday, the 14th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'll be there. My great grandmother, Pearl Whitford, will be there. Dr. Galiat Santos, he's the doctor from Johns Hopkins. He'll be there. And then also um, our one of our nurses from here at our clinic's gonna be there too, and just talking about our cases under reservation. And I think this information is important for us to have so that we could protect ourselves. I'm not a doctor and I can't help in that way, but this is the way I'm helping. This is the way I'm helping protect my language and my culture too, by protecting our elders and our language speakers. You know, um, I also go visit elders with tobacco and learn this different knowledge from them so that I could pass this on to maybe when I have kids or grandkids, that could be passed on for more generations. And I think being strong in that language will travel far into the future, you know. And I've been on the news in Washington D.C. um, and I got interviewed, and then I also was on a newspaper. It's called the Afro from Baltimore, Maryland, and I was a part of another event called Disruptivate. It They talked about COVID-19 and how to. It was just information about COVID-19 and protecting ourselves from it. Um, and I also got to present at a youth conference just recently. It was called the Teka Ohaye, something. I'm not sure how to say that, but and then I'm also a part of the Earth Ambassador Unity Earth Ambassadors. That's Unity is a big indigenous youth group too, and um, I'm also working with them. So, I'm trying to get out there and get connected with a lot of people so that I could share my ideas and share this knowledge that I have before, it goes away, and I think sharing this knowledge with other people so that we could have it for a longer time. And um, there's so much I could say, and I better stop there because I just keep talking. But I'm really thankful to be able to talk to you guys. It's an honor, and I ask that you could come and attend my town hall meeting next week. I think this information would be helpful because right now we're on a plateau of COVID-19 cases in the USA. It's just on a straight line right now. And I think right now we have a choice for it to go down, and we'll be done with COVID. Or, if we don't follow our protocols, mask wearing, sanitizing, it'll go back up. So we kind of have to make that decision. We have that choice to stop that from happening again. And if that were to happen again, it would happen to the youth, to the kids my age, kids younger than me, because we're not able to have that vaccine. Um, so I think that's important for us to protect the youth because they're our future, you know. I always like to say I'm the future, you know. I sound like, I don't know, I don't mean to sound that way, but you know, like, um, you know, we're the future to make a better world. So I just want to thank you for listening to me, and um, I hope all of you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Watson. Amazing. Sulex Bell is our next presenter. So go on ahead, Sulex.
High school hall Pesia Sulex Bell Louis Quest Chin Upanet Talking Spench Signalemen Uchi Skelly Cheney Bell U Echo Brown Shuin Pohot. Hello everybody. My name is Sulex Bell. I'm Salish and Cuddly Spare from the Flathead Res. I go to Tweagle River School and I'm a junior, and I've been a part of this Rise group for a good minute now, maybe about 2 months, and it's opened my eyes on a lot of different things, you know, and it's helped me realize that how something like this group, it could really have a big impact on kids' lives, you know, and how some of these kids never get to hear any of this stuff that we talk about, you know, and anything like that, you know. You can grow up your whole life knowing you're native and knowing this and that, but unless you talk about certain things with people, you'll never know who you are really, you know. And anyways, we've been talking about a lot of cool things. It's slowly starting to get a little more interesting in the group. At first it was kind of going super slow. We were just, you know, no one was talking too much, but recently in these past couple meetings, people have been bringing up some pretty cool topics and everything. And I think it's helping a lot of kids, you know, like, what was I gonna say? So like some kids are starting to realize that they can talk about certain things, you know, and there's some kids I would have never even thought would speak up like they are at these meetings, and they're out here showing everyone what they can do, and they're doing awesome things, you know. And even myself, I didn't ever expect myself to be a part of something like this, and here I am, you know. I don't even know who I'm presenting to, but someone big, I guess. I don't know. Don just asked me to hop on here, and I was like, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, and then and this yeah, I'm just really proud to be a part of this group. That's definitely for sure. And we're trying to plan this conference. That's what we've been talking about quite a bit, and we didn't come up with a name for it yet, but it's gonna be a conference we're gonna be putting on. We're gonna try to have a lot of the youth run a good part of the conference so that they can have a chance to know what it's like to, you know, speak up, and so people have a chance to speak about who they are and where they come from and all that good stuff. And we were just talking about that today, and we were telling them, you know, it'd be cool to see how every native lives a different life, you know, and we're not all the same people. We're not all just, you know, we're not all just native. We're individuals, you know. We all have our uniqueness to us, and we live our own lives, you know, and that's what a lot of people don't get. And we want people to start realizing who we are, you know, and that we do have a lot of similarities, and we're all one, you know, but we also have our own lives that we want people to realize that we all have our different fights that we're fighting and all that. So it's yeah, it should be a good one. And yeah, I don't know. That's everything.
Thank you, Sulex.
Yeah.
So you could go to the final slide, Sarah. So these are just three of our leaders. I don't need to say much more than what they've already said. It just, again, gives them an opportunity to speak up here, you know, to share their voice and share their thoughts. So thank you to all of the students and to Sage. And I just appreciate them so much. And this is why we all have our jobs, I think, in education, is for these moments like this. And eventually these students will become legislators, make change, become governors and presidents, so if you wanted to open it up for questions, but we always use that Sitting Bull quote because, as we've said, there's two worlds that oftentimes our native youth, our natives live in. And within our tribal relations unit, we always speak on braiding those two worlds, braiding them together, because there's such great things and beauty with both and how we can help each other. So we can open it up to questions if you'd like.
Absolutely. Do any of our guests have questions for the students or for Don and his team?
I don't have a question, but I just want to tell you how much I admire you for having the courage to talk to us today. I know from personal experience, Zoom's tricky because if you tell a joke, no one's really you can't tell what people are doing. So you guys did a really excellent job. Also, for some reason, I can't type, but I wanted to give you my email address, which is Misty, MISTY .cool, KUHL @mt.gov. Donnie can get it to you as well, but please reach out if there's anything that you think I can do for you. Good job, Donnie.
Yeah, and Misty, we've had requests to possibly get you to come and present to the meeting, maybe one of these Thursdays. And who knows, maybe with the youth conference coming up, because for the students, Misty is a coordinator in Indian affairs for the state of Montana, which is an upper level job. She's amazing, and she's leading a charge that I think you all should hear her message and maybe connect to in the future.
Donnie, this is Jonathan.
Yes.
I want to thank you for carrying on the torch that we started back in 2000 when I was the chairman of the Tribal Leaders Council down there before they ousted me. And it's inspiring to see this continuing on. And this is why I'm doing the work that I'm doing here on the state level. And you've seen what I've proposed and what I got through. So just keep on keeping on.
Yes, thank you.
My name is Angela McLean, and I'm the Director of American Indian and Minority Achievement and K-12 Partnerships at the Office of the Commissioner of Higher Education for the Montana University System. And so our office works with all of the campuses across the state, like U of M, MSU, Great Falls College, MSU Northern, Western Tech, 2-year campuses and 4-year campuses alike. We also partner with the tribal colleges across the state and with the private campuses across the state. And I just want to tell each of you, thank you for the leadership you are providing at the local, state, and national level. It is absolutely remarkable. I always enjoy having the privilege to listen to Mr. Wetzel and to learn from him. And today I had the remarkable privilege of listening to each of you, including Sage, and learning so much from you. And I would just offer that if you have any questions about our campuses in the Montana University system, or if you're interested in attending any of our campuses, that you reach out to me and let me know how I can be of assistance to you in making that next step. Congratulations, well done, and truly an inspirational presentation today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. This is always exciting when we get to hear from the youth. So thank you. Director Cool's email address is in the chat. I see Angela has put hers there too. We'll leave this open for just a few minutes if anybody else wants to drop your contact information. And with that, we'll see you back here next week. Thank you, Don, and thank you, students. This was wonderful.
Hey, Sarah and Don.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If I can make a recommendation, we're on the cusp right now of changing the whole dynamics of education in Montana with the lot of the stuff that we got through with this session. And one of them is how history is being taught in the schools. And I think it's real important for us to try to get the real history out there. And I see that Sage from Haudenosaunee, I don't know how you say it, anyways, of the Six Nations Iroquois Confederacy has been the people who have First Nations people that have taken in John Hancock and Benjamin Franklin and the so-called founders of the Constitution. And when they had spent after that French Revolutionary War, they have spent the time with the Six Nations up there, and that's where they got the idea of what we now know as the U.S. Constitution. And that wampum belt has been that basis of how that came about. And like I said, the history of the U.S. needs to change and get the real history in place.
Mhm.
Thank you, Representative.
Sarah, I wanted to also say, such great response in the chats, and for all those that are out there in your different organizations and groups, if we could help lead some of these youth your way, through mentorship or shadowing, or if you need a youth voice, that's what we're prepping them for. And as you can see, they can really handle themselves. And I just got to thank them once again. We threw this together in 2 days, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. But what Jonathan's hitting on is the truth, and there's a lot to be told, and our youth are hungry to tell that. And so we'll just continue to move forward. And I just have to thank Sarah and Superintendent Arntzen and Cheryl Allen and Julie Mergel for allowing us to kind of run with some of these youth things and support many of the efforts that we're pushing through our tribal relations and resiliency group.
Well, on behalf of Superintendent Arntzen, it's our honor, right? It's all about the students, each one of you. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. We recorded the youth presentation today, so we'll share that on the OPI website, and the slides are available to share for anyone who would like them.
Hey,
Thank
Sarah
you.
and Don,
Yes, sir.
can I add one more thing?
You sure can.
We got the Montana Democrats had hosted the Indian Caucus these last couple of days, and I think it's really important at this juncture of time of all of the hatred and all of the bigotry and all of that stuff in this legislature, pushing a lot of anti-Indian stuff. And I think it's really important for us to have some type of a platform of getting a lot of the natives who will be turning 18 to start to maybe this would be a platform to get them started of getting out the vote, because if we don't, we're going to remain at 67 Republicans, 33 Democrats, and to make things go over a lot more smoother and a lot more stronger for Indian country. And it's no offense to Misty or anything, but everybody knows that Indian country is mostly Democrat. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thanks, Representative. Representative Pena, do you have anything to add before we sign off today?
Trying to figure out how to get on there. I just like to say, for the young men participating today, to continue to, strive for the best, and right now in this day and age, it's kind of tough for natives in education, but no matter the obstacles, you keep pushing forward. I'd just like to thank everyone for the presentation today, and I'm glad I got to get on board.
Thank you for being here.
And that's one thing too, Sarah and Don, just to spin off of what Rennie is talking about, is that I encourage these young people for coming, because a lot of times you get knocked down, people try to take you down, take you out. Just get back up, brush off, move on, and keep on going.
Igakima.
All right. Thank you, everyone. This was a great hour. We'll send out the materials when we're done. For anyone who's not on our list, reach out to Don and he'll get them to you after this. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for having us. Have a good day. All right,
Welcome.
good
Thanks for being
weekend.
here.
See you later.
See
Yeah,
you,
if
Don.